Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining Archangel Alts trading with you live without a net. We're doing live crypto trading and market analysis, and we were going to do this as just for the paid subscription stream, but I'm going to go ahead and keep working at this because the way that the market is, I'm not sure that we're going to be actually getting into any trades in a short period of time. Hopefully we will, but if not, then I want to make it worth everybody's time to learn some of the market analysis stuff as we go along. So neat kind of seeing Raven is getting in the mix. It's getting its pump. Not really just a synchronization with the market, but it's definitely getting a little bit of help. So we only have one really early position in Raven, kind of back to when it was first around. Ours is somewhere in this area. So I really don't think that this is going to go all the way up there. Although, stranger things have happened for sure. So here we are, live on the crypto scene. I've noticed a lot of people's channels have been trying to do these kind of hyped exposés on something nefarious having happened with Binance behind the scenes and kind of stuff. I just want to dispel any of that. I've looked into these claims that some people have made, and it's just a little bit amateurish and childish. There's just this natural distrust of somebody that is that has been responsible with their previous business doings. Their CZ's history with other exchanges before going on to do Binance. There was some questionable inside stuff going on, which is largely the reason that he left there. So if anything, his history should speak to his integrity, not against it. But also, things that are just very normal business handling things that it seems to me like when people try to say, Binance charged people to list on their exchange. Yeah, and they charge whatever they think is a reasonable fee. And it's a darn good collection of coins that are there as a result. So, all these different things that just, I wanted to mention that because really Binance has, what I would say is the strongest positive reputation in the market. And I would hate for anybody to be steered in the wrong direction, thinking that there's only one other place or two other places to choose from. Just in stark contrast, we have Cryptopia, which I don't think that there's any major issues as far as going there, signing up and trading there, but you're not going to find the same quality selection of coins there either. So, where you do have some of the good stuff there, a lot of the good stuff there, there's hundreds and hundreds that you've got to step over to make sure that you don't get stuck in something extremely low volume, extremely low value, and extremely likely to not even have a team really backing it. At least not over the long term. So I highly recommend being with Binance. It doesn't affect me one way or the other. We've got a referral code in our description. If you would like to sign up with them, it's a nice little gesture to use our referral. It gives us a tiny little reduction in our BNB coin fees. So, it's really not a big deal if you decide, even if you say I never use referrals, that's fine. And if you are on a different exchange, you can apply what you learn here, no matter where you are, as long as you're interested in learning how to trade and not just following what trades to do, you're going to get the most out of this. So things have certainly changed since the last down in Bitcoin. You can see the green. I like to just kind of look at, where is it, 50-50, is it on the line? So, it was leaning almost entirely towards the green for a while there. And now it's leaning mostly towards the red, and that's understandable. Mana was getting pumped at one point. BTT is just not a fantastic idea. Poor thing is struggling. It needs to come up about 15 just to start where its normal average would be. So that's, it's been down several different times. It's not its only time. ONG, doesn't really mean a lot for it right now. The volume is incredibly low compared to what I would think they would hope and expect right now. Yo-Yo, not really a big deal. Yo-Yo, as in the name, tends to go up and down. INS, goodness. DLT, just kind of looking at some of the ones that were being pumped were at the bottom of the list afterwards. And, some of them may be natural spikes, but some of them were pumped. Loom was one of those. It was way up there. Key is just struggling to get back in the 70s. It had made it at one point in time, but I do tend to like it better than some of the low value coins. Let me take a quick sip here. And thank you. I'm back. We have been in and out of many different positions with Key. Usually around the 80 range is where it has an easier time clearing. This is actually a really good example of the visual right here. You can see that, as it was lower, it wasn't just lower, it's also kind of narrowing out. There's less room to trade. And then your candles are getting taller as it's going up here, which means that in the same time period, it's covering a wider range when it goes up. And that tends to be what it does. It's not just when it's getting pumped. You can see in the past, it's done really well when it gets to the peak positions. Here we have gas, but it's okay. We're taking something for it. Just kidding. Gas coin, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. And if you're just now joining us for the first time, please, or even if you're second or third or 17th time, write in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. It's a little bit of a strange day, slow day. We've been seeing some positions getting closer and closer, so that's kind of nice. Steam is down. It was at 920 earlier. It's down to about 900. Yeah, that's where I was talking about, 92.20. So we'd like to see that come back up. Eventually, we're getting back into our 1200 range where our older position is. And all of our other Steam. You've seen our trades. If you haven't, then you can go into the other video and take a look. I'm going to do a tried and true update just after this, unless we get into an extended trade, and then that gets really interesting. So, hey. So, DOC is at 229. We have 257 that we're looking to sell on DOC. And it was getting very close into that range. It doesn't take a really long time with DOC. But, it started to get up there, lost its momentum. 375, 313. So probably around this range. So we were looking at just really, 2 weeks ago is where that was. It's just now becoming a hodl for us. We, mark it off at about 2 weeks. If it doesn't clear inside that time, then we consider it a hodl, even if it goes 1 day over. So, of course, obviously that ends up still working in our advantage. We just have to be able to continue to circulate until we come back around to that time. So MTH sitting about 451. That's pretty normal for it. Let's see over time. Yeah, that's about as normal as it gets, isn't it? So, you know what? That's actually not too terribly unhealthy after the Bitcoin cash, not crash, cash, right? Yeah. After the Bitcoin Cash hard fork, the splitting of ways, so to speak. So it's holding pretty well there. Fuel, looking at fuel. So I'm just, you know what? I'm just going to take another look here. MDA, I don't completely, totally get it. But, obviously there's some major activity there. Not really. I just don't really, I don't sync well to that one, so I'm not going to try to force myself to do something there. Got to stick with what feels logical. GTO sometimes has a lot of really good things going for it. It's kind of interesting. So we'll see. In fact, I think it would be interesting. I'm trying to think of things for our Twitter account. I'm just kind of really learning my way around Twitter and becoming a Twitterifier, tweeting of things. And I enjoy reading these blurbs of things and being kind of a part of the movement or, the pace of the different coins as it's going along. But I think that it would be cool if when I do a shared link that it like has a picture of what I'm doing here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take a picture of that. IOST is getting a lot of my attention right now because we kind of struggled through clearing it a few, maybe a week ago. And, we went 197, 199. It was amazing that it took as long of a cycle as it did. And here we are. That's the 206 I was looking for. Aha. So we just missed our 206 clear. We wanted it 207, as you can see over there. And it didn't have the volume to clear our 206 when it did it too. So it came back up over here and made it to, what was it, 204? 204. So it was just there, and then this is when Bitcoin went down earlier, and then it started to resync and come back up. It made it to 203, and that takes us to present. We are so looking forward to this getting up here and doing what it needs to do. And you never know how long exactly it's going to take. You know what? I'm going to test some lower positions here. So here I go. And I'm going to use hidden other pairs. Probably should say hide other pairs, but we get the point. So, and you can see we have a lot in there. So that, to some people that's a ton of money. To me, it's a ton of money. One of these days, I'd like to say it's like, oh, well, that's not that much. Few grand, just a drop in the bucket. Few tens of grands, just a drop in the bucket. So let's fill up the bucket with the rest of the many, many drops. Means it's raining coins. Woohoo! So I'm looking to see, it's pretty amazing. It's been maintaining about 500 BTC 24-hour volume. And in case you're wondering what that means, the volume is the amount of buying and selling that's taking place. So volume is probably the most critical thing, obviously other than the price, but maybe even just as important as the price. Maybe even more important than the price would be the volume. And yes, I am forcing myself to just kind of let that sit for a couple of seconds there before coming back to IOST. The sky is not falling. It's actually going up a little bit. Theta, theta, beta, 36, 32, 3270. Okay. Yeah, there's not what I would consider a whole lot of, just jump in there kind of positions. Those are absolutely my favorite, of course. Basic attention token or basic attention span, I like to say. So that's an interesting gap there. We know that that would probably coincide with, syncing up with Bitcoin. Syncing up with Bitcoin with Archangel Alts. Your alternatives to Bitcoin. Looking here to see waves. Okay, it got out of that little 6,800 slump, so that's good. I would expect it to hit 7,300 again. I'm personally not wanting to stick around for the 70 stretch until it's really moving quickly. So 69 right there. 6901 would need to get to 6969, which is about there. It's been doing it pretty well. Let's see how long that actually takes. So, from 69. Yes, even with it being 30-40 minutes, so much can change in that time. So let's see. Wabi. Interesting. We've seen this move a couple of times. CMT. Come on. Go CMT. Ooh, that's not right. Things are getting dragged down for a second here, so I'm not sure why it's doing that. But pretty sure it's on this end. All right, a couple more times, and I'm going to assume that it's not on this end. All right, back to life, back to reality and stuff. So 360 is really not like hugely massively high for Raven. We'd like to see it be able to double that, and now we're talking. That would be super fantastic. I'm glad to see it at the top of the list. I think that's pretty cool. But it just is kind of speaking to things are really kind of flattened out. Things are really on the weak side right now. I'm doing a lot more looking and testing and watching than the trading that I would like to be doing right now. I'm not going to force what is not the right time on something. I'm just not going to do that. So I am going to always include that we're doing market analysis when we're in the midst of all this stuff, okay? And I think that I'm going to, if this doesn't speed up soon, I've got a lot of lesson plans and a lot of other content that I need to be getting ready for you guys as you're signing up and joining our community, right? That's what you're going to do, right? Yes, that's what you're going to do. So I got to get a lot of that information there so you'll have fun things to click on and we'll have cool things to talk about. Don't you know? There's that same little lip right there. I've noticed several different coins. I pointed it out in maybe Wabi, I believe. Anyway, let's get back over to here. This is kind of the lower movement representation of that same little curve. No, we don't want to see you go down there. You're not in the mood to do that. Now, I mean, technically, that would probably not be a bad place to go in. So we'll see. We shall see. All right. Yeah, it's just a lot of things that need to pick up on volume in a big way. Much volume it needs. Litecoin 1900 BTC, ONT 1400, TRX 1300. Yeah, everything is very low right now. It would be very risky to go in on something on the ledge if you're not certain of what it's going to do next. So doesn't look like midnight is going to be the pickup time. for things speeding up. And unfortunately, if it goes in from Wednesday to Thursday slow, that might mean tomorrow is going to be a slow day too. Really good time for teaching and learning stuff though, huh? So, as we're going through here, just generally speaking, what we want to do is to look at where it has been over time. Going back over here. So we're looking through May into June and July. And not only are things picking up quickly over here, we see these strong uptrends, but as it goes down, you can see not only did it stop doing this trend, but the shape changed to this kind of rainbow slope. And this is always visually a sign that things are ramping down. It's losing volume, it's losing momentum, and people are scared to push it back up and come in quickly. So this was right on 2.6. And that's kind of when the upturn started again. So it's actually at 1,000 BTC for ICX. It's very interesting. We have gotten in on positions and done well there. I don't think that it's time to go in with it being as low as it is. Over here being at 767, can kind of show you where. Over here, would it be the Bitcoin Cash hard fork? I don't know. Could it possibly be? You can see that it started to falter, and then you're all right straight through. It's almost like, that concern and panic about what was going to happen during the hard fork started to have an effect before it even happened. Very much so. So, wow, I love all the activity on Raven. It's so cool. I mean, it feels weird to go back in on something when you have you've been waiting on it so long, and you know that you're going to have to wait a longer time. But we've gone in and cleared, a lot of position in Raven. So IOST is going to take another round, and I'm not sure that this is really the up. I think that this is going to steady out here for a little bit before getting in there again. You can see it up close here. There's lots of Morse code, lots of binary movement. There you go. So staying kind of within the bounds while moving down, but it is widening out a little bit here. So, I mean, it does have room to come back up. It just, we need it to go even stronger than that. Okay. So I'm going to check out Raven because it seemed like it was actually moving fairly quickly. Sometimes I don't mind defying a trend if I think that it's moving quickly enough. So even though it's headed down, kind of look to see whether anything is pushing back up against it when it gets in there. Only because it's got as much volume as it does. So people get more and more nervous the more it drops down, and then people are like, oh, opportunity, opportunity. So we only need a couple of positions. I mean, really, going from 354 to 356 is fine. Going from 351 to 357 is huge. Really don't need a lot. We just want it to happen quickly, and we don't want to get stuck. That's the name of the song I'm singing. Okay, so I believe that Raven is going to be coming down quicker. That may be where it stabilizes, where it already is. I mean, all of the technicals are kind of speaking to it being the right time to go in with something. I'm willing to try something fairly small. Yeah, like 4444. Yeah, I waited too long. There's the pop. That's always where there's either going to be a reversal or it goes ahead and pops real quick. And if it does that, there's a chance that it comes up to here, but I'm going to follow my own principle of thirds and not go in on that right now. I've seen so many times where it made so much sense, and the second that it got enough volume, people started selling it off. So it happens very quickly, and then there's already a downward trend. So there's just as much reason not to continue with that as there is to take a risk on it. So yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That was before I even pressed the button. Now it could continue up from there, but I've seen this so many times. Everything's coming into position, and it looks like it's just going to draw this perfect little, sine cosine. The bottom part of a wave, and it's coming up and it does this thing, and then it starts reversing and continues down, and you're like, volume, and it doesn't have the volume to finish it. Now it can go up from there, that's absolutely true. This is still probably a good position for going in lower when it does change paths. We'll see, but it's weighed down by some of the positions in here, and you can see that people are not ready to start putting in their sell orders at a higher level. They want to get this first. And that's kind of, unfortunately, the better the position, people get more greedy and they say, well, hey, if I can get it here for this much, maybe I can get it down here for even more. And then unfortunately it starts to pull down there, and people get scared and sell off low. So, fear, uncertainty, doubt, FOMO, fear of missing out. And at the same time, right now, Bitcoin had a little bit of upsurge, so we'll probably see it right here. And wait for it. Actually, no. This has already finished that cycle. I'm not sure that it's going to do it there. So Bitcoin is at 38.28. It's come up from about 38.10, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's holding $117 million volume, represented in Tether on the Binance Exchange. Yeah, okay, so maybe in the 343 range. And it's got to eat through this, so if something changes, it could jump down dramatically at that point. Okay. Very good. So that's with Bitcoin at 38.27, and it looks like it's starting to do the shape that it's doing. I don't see getting in up there until I have more reason to think that it's not going to finish going down. You can even kind of see this. Now, yes, there could be a breakout. It just, I always look at when it's come up this high in the short term. This is cryptocurrency. It changes on a dime. You do not want to get stuck on the edge of a cliff. Don't get stuck on the edge of a cliff. That's the name of the game. Good for you, waves. Starting to get up there. So what I'm looking for is less gradual, because as it's gradual, unfortunately, I would love this if it was a normal reoccurring trend type thing. But as you can see, when you zoom out, look how narrow all that movement actually is, right? So we're looking for this kind of stuff. 72, 73, plenty of room to get in and out of there. Of course, this is what it looks like at a distance. We're looking for that in a much shorter period of time. Good deal. So, you know what? If Raven could just moon That would be really cool. You know, just like sit back and just let it go ahead and go to where we've already been. Just get up there in the 600s, 700s. Raven coin. It's a coin of a coin. Okay. Still at 198. And I mean, that's the thing. It can do this for a day. It really can. 193 to 204. Pretty narrow range. It's dropping in its 24-hour volume, 490 BTC. It was in the 560 range. So, and as soon as I speak, it's actually getting back in there. One digit at a time. So, yeah, I mean, things are very slow tonight. The traffic's a little bit slow tonight. Trading's a little bit slow tonight. So I think that I'm going to take this opportunity to switch over to some things that we need for the group. Need to get some of our lesson plans, and all of the different lesson plans are going to have a free version that, you know, there's a free element of it that will help you with everything that you're doing. And, you know, as we go along, the more advanced stuff will be in the paid subscription section. So, you know, if you're wanting to come along with us on the journey, learn how to do all this stuff, we would love to have you. Beginners, intermediary, advanced, all like, we're all on the journey together. We all have things we can learn from each other. But I'm watching, you know, to see what the trends in the market are and what other people are talking about. And it seems to me like nobody is really putting it all out there and putting everything on the line to show you exactly how to do this correctly. So, you know, yes, understanding the charts and indicators are important, but if you aren't able to do anything beyond that, and you know, don't hide behind the indicators, but actually show it in all the positions you're going in, and don't take the easy way out by saying, you know what, I can't find anything good, so I'm just going to short everything. That isn't really the most amazing of integrity, in my opinion. So I would rather use this time to show you analysis and to answer questions that you've got, and not go into a position with, you know, the wrong, you know, just to show off or just to show that something could be done. You know, the market ultimately makes some of those decisions for us. So we're here to help you work, trade, learn. Really looking forward to getting very active with this stuff. So subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. Check us out on archangelalts.com. Come and join the community as we grow. It's very exciting to start having those first signs of growth as we've been doing our soft launch. It's been really hard work, and it's very exciting. So God bless you guys. Be good until next time. And for now, Archangel Alts out.